Let's talk about the upcoming South African elections and why it's a turning point in the country's history. "30 years ago, South Africa held its first democratic election. The African National Congress, ANC, founded in 1912 and led at the time by anti-apartheid activist Nelson Mandela, rose to power. Mandela was elected as the country's first non-white president, marking a historic moment in South Africa's history. This election signaled the end of an era characterized by the enforcement of racial segregation and discrimination, known as apartheid, which lasted from 1948 to the early 1990s. In 1994, the ANC pledged in its election manifesto to establish a democratic society founded on principles of equality, non-racialism, and non-sexism. They aimed to build a nation that embraces diversity in cultures, beliefs, and languages, while fostering economic growth through job creation, housing, and education. Moreover, the ANC sought to create a peaceful and secure environment where people could live without fear. Nelson Mandela became the symbol of this new era of post-apartheid. His landslide victory, securing 63% of the votes, provided hope for millions of Africans and signaled a new chapter in South Africa's history.
Time for the healing of the wounds has come. The moment to bridge the chasms that divide us has come.
After 30 years of domination of South Africa's political landscape, for the first time, the ANC is facing challenges in securing a majority. Despite a successful campaign in 2019, the current president of South Africa and leader of the party, Cyril Ramaphosa, will try to revive the wave of public optimism known as Ramaphoria that brought him to power 5 years ago. In recent years, South Africa has faced rising inequality, poverty, youth unemployment, and corruption. The state capture scandal, where businessmen colluded with high-level officials, exposed an alarming level of corruption that placed the states in the hands of private interests. On May 29th, millions of voters will head to the polling stations to cast their votes for their favorite party. According to the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, over 27 million South Africans registered to take part in the general elections to elect 400 members of the National Assembly, who will then vote for a new head of state within 30 days of the general elections. The faces of this election are incumbent President Ramaphosa, the leader of the opposition and the Democratic Alliance, John Steenhuisen, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Julius Malema, and former President Jacob Zuma, who was recently disqualified from running for parliament due to his 2021 contempt of court conviction related to a corruption inquiry. Issues of insecurity, crime, unemployment, load shedding, and water shortages are exacerbating public frustration, with 66% of registered South African voters believing that the country is heading in the wrong direction, stressing the importance for candidates to address the concerns of the electorate, especially since 35% of voters feel that no party genuinely represents their views. According to recent polls from Ipsos, the ANC is losing its majority with only 40.2% of potential votes, followed by the DA, the EFF, and Jacob Zuma Umkhonto weSizwe, known as MK Party. Except for MK's presence, the ranking is quite similar to the one of 2019. However, the ANC, EFF, and the Zulu Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP, are currently losing their fan base to MK and other new parties. In the last elections, ANC secured 57.5% of the votes, ahead of the Democratic Alliance, the Economic Freedom Fighters, and the Inkatha Freedom Party. So, how will South Africa's political landscape look like post-2024 elections? If, as expected, the ANC loses its long-held majority, what are the potential coalitions? For more insights, check our recent publications on the topic. The links are in the description.